The Holy Stone HS110D is a very confusing drone. So it's great in some respects and also awful in some respects. So I don't really know my entire feelings on it. For this, we're going to be looking at the Amazon listing for it. And currently it's selling at about $65.69. Now, there have been a lot of price changes from this, probably because it's at $65.69. It is a pretty good deal. Now, if it were $50, it would be amazing. This drone is probably only worth $30 or $40 though. So if we look at the price for the last 120 days, the highest was around $110. That was crazy. I saw it. The price I bought it for was about $65, and I think I got a coupon attached with it, so it was about $60. That's what this drone should be selling for, not the $100 that it was selling for. This 1080 FPV camera is very deceiving. Now, this, first off, the app does not work, but we'll get into that later. The drone itself, to its credit, is designed pretty sleekly, and it is a very strong drone. Now, the camera is more like a 360p, and I'll have footage of that on screen sometime here. Any of the drone footage that's in this video will be from the camera. It does have a 120-degree angle, wide angle lens. I don't doubt that, but the actual image to the phone that you're gonna get is awful. Also, there is an SD card on the back, and the image from that is still going to be awful. It's a pretty fast drone, but it does not have stable flight. It's easy to grasp when you're flying, that's true, but it doesn't have like a hover lock. I mean, it does, but it's not great. You're gonna float and drift to the sides. There is no voice control. If there is, it doesn't work. I'll try to make a video demoing that in the future. Trajectory flight, I'm pretty sure doesn't work. The Fpv transmission, sure, there is Fpv transmission, but the latency is about 2 to 3 seconds, which you fly FPV, even just a 1 second latency is impossible. You can't fly with that. The altitude hold is fine. 3D flip is cool the first couple times. Headless mode is sure. The app control is awful, and I'll make a separate video just for demonstrating how bad the application is to the drone later, unless it's gotten better, which we'll see. The smart control is for the app, does not work. The voice control is broken, and so is the trajectory flight. All of this does not seem to work. My review on it would be that it is more of a 3 or 2-star drone, 3 stars at the max. Now, going on to the actual Holy Stone website, you're not going to get an image this clear with that drone. It'd be nice if they took an actual image from it. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Holy Stone drones don't have great cameras. 1080p camera, talked about this, it's not amazing. The FOV, sure, it's nice, you can see a lot. 20 minutes of battery life is, sure, it's pretty good, given that it's a quote-unquote FPV drone. Each battery will net you about 8 miles if you're flying at the maximum speed, which at the maximum speed is pretty fast. 100-meter distance is true-ish. You're gonna get a lot of camera interference when it's going to the phone, when it's transmitting. You get a lot of camera interference at about, I think, 30 meters from when I was testing it. That's when the latency becomes unflyable. When it's right next to you, it's already unflyable, but after about 30 meters, it becomes really unflyable. The headless mode, it's headless mode, it works. The gesture control in the app did not seem to work. Now, if we go through the Holy Stone video right here, Holy Stone FPV drone, launch into a world of fun. It is pretty fun, sure. The flips are coolish. Just make sure that you don't do it when you're under about 50% battery. If you do it under 30% battery, the voltage going to the motors will not have enough power, and if you're even just significantly not high enough, you will tap the ground, or you will slam into the ground. So that's something to be aware of. There's 2 modular batteries which come with it, which are pretty good. I had some camera connection issues when I was swapping out batteries, so that is something to be aware of also. Again, footage is not going to look this clear. Altitude hold is, sure, it works, but you're going to sway from left to right. There's no GPS on it. For the price, though, it is pretty good. The remote itself is okay. Everything will go more into detail in possibly a separate video, because there are a lot of issues with a lot of the things. The remote feels very cheap, but again, it is $60-ish, $70 drone, so you can't really complain about that too much. However, the controls work well. Everything works well when it works, but there are a lot of things that don't work. I don't really have anything to complain about with the remote. You can see from the drone right here, the camera's at the bottom. You would slide in an SD card from the back here. Even then though, you're not going to get very clear images. If you take the videos and images off the phone, it'll give you a 720p from the phone. You take it from the SD card, it's a little bit better. It's actually significantly better, but it's still, I wouldn't say 1080p HD quality. Now we have all of these right here. These are not actual images of the drone. It's advertising all of these things, but it should really advertise its durability. It's a really great learning drone. I would definitely get this for someone who's never flown a drone before. At the price point it's at, $60 for this is a pretty good deal. Now, fun for any time, sure. You don't want to fly this away too far because you're going to lose signal. I've lost signal from it when it's flying just straight in front of me. And I'll demo that in this next video. And I haven't gotten it on video when it almost crashed into a tree multiple times when I've lost signal. But I have it on video and I had to pull the video from my phone. It actually went into the water and I lost it. There was another time when I was flying up and it flew up, it kept going up, and then it just banked to the right. Luckily, it landed just in a street and I was able to go and pick it up. That was pretty scary. Gravity sensor control works. The protection guards are okay. They're very flimsy, and after a few crashes, the least durable thing is the protection guards. They will break, but I believe that they do help the propellers from damaging the motor shaft, because the motor shaft right here in the middle, I have bent it twice, and it will mess up your flight pretty significantly. It says HS110D real shots. I don't know what it means by real shots, but these are not shots taken by the drone. These are shots taken of the drone, but not of the drone itself, from the drone itself. This drone, I would always say keep the protection guards on because you're going to bend the motor shafts for this one. Although it does look better without the guards, and you really don't need them, but it's also, you should keep them on there because the motor shafts are pretty weak. But the rest of the drone is pretty solid. Now, these reviews. The flying of the drone is also really easy and simple to use. That's true. The drone responds quickly and efficiently to every command you give it, either using the controller or the downloadable app to your phone. I disagree with this. The app is completely broken. Last time I checked it out, last time I flew it, it does not work. I'd love to revisit it, so we'll see if I revisit it and fix things. Does it respond quickly and efficiently? Yes, when it responds, just don't lose frequency. The drone is very lightweight though. It's extremely lightweight and it is extremely fast and it is extremely durable to minor collisions. The next review, keep in mind I only had it for about 4 days and previous drone for 2 weeks. Before that I didn't have any experience with drones. This drone is so much fun and easy to fly for beginners. Totally agree with that. It has altitude hold, which yeah it does, which will keep the drone on the same level, but again it moves from left to right like crazy. You can trim it, and it's really easy to trim it, meaning you can adjust the actual kind of like pitch of it, which is very nice. Since the drone is so light, it will move the drone left and right even with the light breeze. So he got that on point. That is correct. However, this little drone is quite fast and reacts fast to the commands. That's super true. The next one is the HS110D is an awesome drone. First thing I noticed was how flawless the design and overall appearance are. Appearance is great. I don't know about the design. I guess it's pretty cool looking. I don't really know what they mean about the design of it. The design of just how it looks is nice, but the design of like the application is awful. I love the video you get considering the low price of the drone. For the low price, the video is pretty good. I would say that this is a practice drone. You should get someone who just doesn't really know about drones. You should recommend this to someone who just has no knowledge, but is just interested. They're interested in drones, but they have no knowledge about them. This is a pretty nice one to get to fly like through a field, away from people, away from any obstacles. That would be nice. The fact that it's a wide angle lens camera makes it easier to fly in FPV. Oh, you don't want to fly FPV. If you fly FPV, you're going to crash this thing because of the insanely long latency. Captures great photos, that is debatable. Being able to fly it using my VR goggles was pretty cool too. That is true, you can fly it with your VR goggles. I don't know if they're fixing the latency issue, or if that helps the latency issue, or it's possibly just my phone. My phone does have 5G. I don't think this drone does have 5G though, so I don't know exactly what the connection issues are, but I love to try that. And we have some more reviews. You can go on their website, which will be linked below the like button in the description, and read all of these for yourself. So my final verdict is, I would totally get this drone for someone that is interested in drones and has never flown a drone, has basically no knowledge about drones, because this is a good beginner drone. It's a good entry one, but that's all it is. It's an entry drone. It's very basic, and it is very, very simple. It is not amazing. Holy Stone is not an amazing drone company from my experience. I would love to be wrong, and I would love to test out more of their products, and I will keep testing out the ones that I have, and I will update if there are any changes and go more into depth with specific things. I do like this drone. I do plan on keeping it. I do have a DJI FPV drone, and I fly that one more than any other drone that I have. But this one is fun. It's cool to fly whenever. The DJI FPV takes a few minutes to set up. This one you can just pull out, and it connects to the remote, to the phone, super fast. From the drone to remote, it's almost instant, and you can fly in less than a minute. So again, this one is good for someone that has never flown a drone before, or someone who just wants something very simple and is interested in drones.